top story up on Infowars.com. It's got links to the mainstream newspapers in Missouri. I'm going to cover it later in the next hour. And it just says the National Guard trains to take on the U.S. militia. High treason, ladies and gentlemen. Northcom openly announces in the Army Times they're preparing major combat brigades to, quote, engage the American people, including state governors. And that's the same thing the John Warner Defense Authorization Act says. Now, anybody who lives in the real world and understands history, the hair on the back of your neck should be standing up. But you see, it's not just the government that's corrupt and rancid. It's the American people. We were once the smartest and best and toughest. I mean, all those cliches were true. But it's probably been 100 years since we were anything close to those ancestors. And now we're a bunch of showboats, a bunch of posing, preening peacocks who like to act like they're tough and act like they're informed and act like they're involved. But in reality, it's a bunch of cowards that'll go along with anything. And so the word went out to the vultures of the planet. This is the place to pick the people's bones. This is where they'll put up with anything, as long as you wrap it in the American flag. You can shove a shotgun in their mouth and pull the trigger as long as the shotgun is red, white, and blue, and they'll thank you for blowing their brains out. Now, I know there's still a lot of good people in this nation, and the New World Order global crime syndicate's taken over on the planetary scale, so there's really nowhere to run. So we got to stand here and fight, ladies and gentlemen. But on average, 640,000 jobs are being lost every month for the last 8 months straight. 600+ thousand people a month are losing their jobs. It's accelerating now. Real inflation's above 15%. Real unemployment is now above 20%. And it's only going to get worse. There's no cavalry coming over the hill. The government wants to make the Depression as bad as possible. They want to bankrupt you. They want to make you dependent on them. They want to get control of you. It's in all the IMF and World Bank documents. They've done it to third world country after third world country. You know, you like to shake your finger when you're in a third world country. Nicaragua, El Salvador, Argentina, areas in Asia. You like to shake your finger and say, look at these homeless people everywhere. Look at these poor people. Why don't they do something for themselves? Well, see, their corrupt leaders were bought off by foreign offshore banks that signed agreements with the leaders that they were not to pay the loans back that were made up out of fiat money to begin with, backed up by U.S. taxpayers, and that they were then to hand over the entire infrastructure to the people. You see, the elites want you to be bankrupt and poor as a tool of control, as a tool of bondage. As State Department memorandum